Philip AKEM Jr. Anwa Tambe, a Cameroonian born in the United States of America to a family in which football flows. After all, his father, Philip AKEM, was a former player in the Southwest Second Division League in Cameroon. Philip AKEM Jr., as a kid, made waves in Dallas FC in the United States of America, scoring top-level goals. Philip progressed from Dallas FC to semi-pro level, and that was at the prestigious West Point Academy in the USA. From West Point Academy, Philip signed a pro contract to join TSC Hoffenheim in Germany, where at 19 years he is engaged in top-level soccer. Philip tells his story from when he got into the under-17 pro category.
When you started playing, getting selected into, say, maybe under 20, into serious soccer this time, what was your experience?
It was hard because at first the level was different from what I was normally playing. These are kids who have played national team, who have been in the academy setting for a long time. So I was always playing catch up. Even today, I'm still playing catch up. But I went into a program where I've been playing since high level soccer since, small, since like age 7, age 6. So I just took it on the chin. I just took it as it went, and I was progressing. I found my up downs, and I focused on those and really improved.
So can we talk about your professional experience? You had played schoolboy soccer at that lower level. How did you get to a professional level?
Starting with FC Dallas Academy. This is a very strong academy in America. It's probably the best youth academy in the United States, because that MLS club produces the most homegrowns, and homegrowns are basically kids who come out of their academy and sign professional contracts for the club or for another club. So FC Dallas was definitely the place to be. And from there, it was always hard because there's always someone better than me. And that's how it is in life. There's always someone better than you. So, I just had to put my head down to work. For a while, I was distracted. I was thinking stuff was easy. I was not taking things serious. It wasn't until about U17 year where, I found some teammates that really understood the game and understood where they wanted to be in life in a few years. So from then, we started talking like, we need to start taking things serious. We started training on our own, going out, taking the balls, late nights, coming home late from training, stuff like that. So just from that point, I've been instilled with this discipline of, I got to be better, I got to be better, I got to be better. So from there, U19 year, it was rough, with COVID and stuff like that. We didn't have much games, but it was important because that year was the first time getting opportunities with the pro team at FC Dallas, training with the second team, training with the first team. So stuff like that. I was being introduced to the pro stage now, the real pro stage, training with pros, people who are getting paid to play. It's different. So from then, I had a couple of from the second team. Some were like, it was heartbreaking because I was thinking I was maybe putting in the work in that I needed, but really I needed more. So I took everything and continued to progress my game until after U19 year, summer came, and I was hoping to go to Europe. But unfortunately, no teams had called or anything, and I had a choice.
Once you moved into the professional level, which were some of the challenges that you were facing? Because the level of football had changed. You moved from schoolboy soccer, and now you are getting into the professional field. Your father was no longer there to be the friends of the coaches. You definitely must have had some challenging situations while you were in that, as you got into the profession at the professional level.
Of course. One of them is, as a new player, you have to earn the trust of the coaches and your teammates. So that was one. Another one was my fitness level, because it was a higher level. The pace of the game is different. It's faster. And then a third one I would say is probably building relationships on the team. As a new kid, nobody really likes you because they look at you as someone who's going to take somebody's place. So from there, it's hard, trying to build relationships, trying to trust people, trying to be friends with people, because everybody's in there to fight for their own thing. So I think those are the most difficult.
What position were you really playing, and where are you stabilized now? What was your position on the field?
So before now, I was playing striker, but then I had a phase where they wanted to make me a central defender. And I've tried it. I played fairly well, but I knew defender wasn't my thing. So finally, I earned my spot as a forward by scoring goals and creating chances for my teammates. So now I'm a forward, a striker, winger, all of them.
Yes. Now you went professional, went on to the U15, U17. Do you still remember a match that made you click at that level?
Of course, it was FC Dallas versus Atlanta United U17 match. That game, I scored 2 goals, 2 very good goals, fantastic goals. One of the goals, I took the ball from midfield and beat 4 players and scored bottom corner. That game was important because that was a tournament game. So if we had lost that game, we would have been out. We wouldn't have been able to take the trip to Florida to go and play the other teams in the quarterfinals. But I took that game. Yeah, it was a really good game, really fantastic game. I played my best that game.
If you watch the 2006 World Cup and the current African Nations Cup that took place in Cameroon, a goalkeeper came out with a bottle with the names of players written on that bottle. How did you feel if you saw that?
I think that's more of like goalkeepers, they do this for penalties, like they have the names of players and where they shoot for the penalties. So I've seen that a lot. And, sometimes I don't think it's like a superstition. I think it's like preparation, making sure you know your opponent before the game.
You are moving now from FC Dallas over to a club in Germany. How did it happen?
So basically that's where West Point's story comes in. So at the end of my U19 year, I had dreams of going to Germany, aspirations, but I hadn't had a team that had contacted me to come and trial yet. So time was running and I didn't want to give up my education dream as well because time, at that age, you're supposed to transition into college. So with that being said, while I had no interest from European teams yet, me and my parents, we decided that it was good for me to go to West Point to have this experience. So I took myself to New York with my family. They dropped me off at West Point Military Academy, which is one of the top schools in America. But yeah, that's a big journey in itself. It's very different because West Point is a school that installs discipline in you. It's a military school, so things are very different. It's not a regular school where you're with your friends and you're having fun and just doing whatever. No, there are rules, there are things you have to do every day on a daily basis. On top of that, there's military training, there's school, so it was very different. But I think that's what shaped me to be who I am today and where I am at today, because I saw that as a lifestyle I was not really, not really enjoying. So I was like, when I got my chance to go on trial, I was like, okay, I don't want to go back to West Point, so I need to play like I don't want to go back. And that's exactly what happened. I took my week in Germany, trained as best as I could, and they liked me, and I was able to sign for Hoffenheim.
Before your signing, I backtrack a little. Football and education is something that kids cannot really manage well in Cameroon and in some African countries. How did you manage it?
I have to thank my parents for that one. Being blessed to be born in America, there's a lot of opportunity here. So all that suffering that my parents and my grandparents went through, it was for me to have a better life. So I take that on my shoulder every day when I'm in school or I'm on the football pitch, and I'm like, okay, I have to remember those who sacrificed for me to have a better life. So in America, there's a lot of things that help with school and football. FC Dallas especially, they were very good on that because the schools and soccer were connected. If you failed, you're not allowed to play. But, if you didn't fail and you're doing well, you're allowed to play and come on trips. So it was very, very connected because America is very well at doing that.
You found yourself from the United States of America and into Europe, another continent and entirely where people think differently and act differently. You were going to sign this contract. How did you feel?
I've been away from my family and from the country before, so I wasn't really worried about how people act or anything. I was just focused on, okay, here's my chance to go and make a name for myself, and put my name out there, help my family, help those who have come before me. So I wasn't really worried about how everybody's going to act over here. I was just focused on maintaining my values, things that my parents taught me while I was little, my morals and stuff like that, and just focusing on the goal at hand.
And the first time you got into the team and you went on training, how did they receive you?
It was good. Everybody is friendly here. Hoffenheim is one of those clubs where they don't tolerate like hazing or like unfair treatment of players. Everybody's very welcoming and stuff like that. So it was good. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't scared. I was here to make a name for myself. Like I said, make strides. So I wasn't really worried about too many relationships, but Hoffenheim, they accepted me well. The coaches treated me very well. All the players here, I couldn't ask for anything better.
The Bundesliga is known to be hard, rough, and rugged. And there you find yourself. How are you coping?
So the youth Bundesliga is very different from MLS Next, because Obviously, the level is different here. It's very high. The pace of the game is high. Technique is better. The thinking of the game is high. So when I came here, I knew I wasn't prepared yet, but I knew that I could only work to be prepared for when my chance came. So I had about 2 months when I came here to really adjust to the lifestyle here, because I was not allowed to play games until 2 months later, because I was working on paperwork with the U.S. Soccer Federation and stuff like that. So my first game against Bayern Munich, U19s, I went in there and I tried to do things myself, to help how I play, or let others see how I play, just keeping the ball, making sure I'm tracking back and just doing my running. So it was not bad. The transition was not bad. I find it fairly nice to play here in Germany. I like the level. I'm getting comfortable with the game. So
what's your place in the competition? The standing of your team in the competition.
So currently, I haven't looked at the table in a week or so, but we are currently sitting fourth. It's a tough league. We have a lot of Bundesliga teams in here that we're fighting for place for. So the likes of Stuttgart, likes of Mainz, likes of Nürnberg and stuff like that. Those teams, we played them. It's been good games, and some of the results haven't gone our way, but we've been fighting to try and win the title this season.
You're progressing in football, and Cameroon is a footballing nation. Any plan? Thinking about Cameroon?
Of course, with me being born in America and my parents being Cameroonian, is like best of both worlds. Two footballing nations that are really, America is coming up now. Football is starting to be introduced to the States, so everybody's starting to pick it up here. And then you have Cameroon, where football has been known for a while. Tracking back all the way to the 1990 World Cup when we pulled off the miracle against Argentina. Stuff like that, things like that. I remember of Cameroon, and it'd be an honor to play for Cameroon. Honestly, so many big players for Cameroon, and I'd like to follow in their footsteps.
Which are some of the Cameroonian players that you know?
There's a lot. You have Toko Ekambi from the current Cameroon national team. You have Vincent Abubakar. You have Chopo Moting, Fai, who's a right back. Zambo Anguissa, midfielder. There's a lot of players on that team that I really admire. Clinton J is there. I have his jersey. You have Andre Onana. And then if you want to talk about players from the past, you have Webo, Samuel Eto'o, of course, Asuakoto. Nkulu, Cheju, a lot of players,
This obviously means that you have watched quite a good number of matches played by Cameroon.
Of course.
And which of the matches can you remember that thrilled you?
I talked about that 1990 World Cup, but I can't tell me about it. I used to watch videos on that game. I realized, wow, this football country is something special, because to beat that Argentina team back in the field, and especially when you have 9 men on the field with 2 red cards. So that game, to me, is one of the most memorable.
Have you visited Cameroon before?
No. So I was planning on going to Cameroon last summer, but COVID was a problem. Same reason why I didn't go to Germany to try out in the summer. So, I'm really hoping to visit my parents' country, because it's something I've always wanted to do since I was little. We just haven't had the chance to, but nowadays things are starting to open up, so I'll be looking to take a trip back home soon.
You eat eru and fufu. Papa and Mama, they must be preparing fufu, eru, snails, and so on.
Of course, I think not to say anything about anybody else's family, but I think my mom makes the best fufu and eru there is. I really love her cooking fufu and eru, achu soup. You have vegetable, you have food and okra, all that stuff. It's my life. I love it.
Definitely, you must have been listening to your parents speak some Kenyan, and your father must have probably, they are your grandparents back at home, cousins and so on, who have seen your pictures, and they know that we have a brother or a cousin out there. Let me hear you tell them a word in Bayangi.
No. I don't know any Bayangi words.
But he can speak Pidgin.
Pidgin, I understand. I can speak Pidgin.
Okay, you talk Pidgin, huh?
Yeah, I disabi talk Pidgin.
Okay, let me talk to your father a while. Yeah, Pa AKEM, there is every evidence that you encouraged your boy to go into football. Why all of that? Why did you stand so strong behind him?
Yeah, me myself, I've played a little bit of soccer, played in secondary school, and And in Manfred, that's what we do. We don't have any other sports, it's soccer. So when I came here and we had him, we started going to the field, and he showed interest. And I said, okay, if you like it, all right, keep doing it. So I gave him the leeway to do whatever sports. First, so he was even playing football too, American football, and he was very good because of his size and everything. But he decided soccer, and I said, okay, let him do.
You will enjoy seeing him playing for Cameroon?
Of course, yes. Of course. I want to see him play for Cameroon. That will be one of the most satisfying things.
What is a message you would like to send to Cameroonians, to friends, and so on? Can I have a message from you? What will be your message?
Wow, okay. So my message to Cameroonians that hear this interview, I'm proud to be Cameroonian. Very proud. I mean, this is one of the best things in life that God has given me, the joy of having Cameroonian parents, being involved with our culture and stuff like that. And it'd be a truly blessing to be able to play for the Cameroon national team and represent Cameroon on the big stage. Really, it's my dream. So, if it can happen, it will happen. If it's not, I will always, be grateful for having this opportunity, even, just being involved as a Cameroonian. Forget the soccer part of it. Just being a part of the culture and being able to say that this flag you represent, it's a blessing.